next program is a panel discussion basically on enabling efficient, sustainable, and future-ready operations through digital transformation. We have digital transformation leaders and the top leaders from different leading manufacturing organizations of Chennai. Can we get the chair so then I can start calling the people on stage? Babu, K.V.S. from Lucas TVS. Warm round of welcome for all the panelists. Let me welcome Venkatraghavan S. from Thirumalai Chemicals. A warm round of applause again. K. Satyanarayana Rao of Sanmar Chemplast. Sunil Thangam from Ford. Muthu Lingam from St. Gobain. Prashanthi Krishna from ZF Group. And Mr. Arvind Kakru from Schneider Electric. There was one more panelist who was scheduled to join us, Mr. Muthu Maruthachalam from Daimler. He had some last-minute engagement and couldn't make it. Myself, I am Rajneesh. I am the group editor of APAC Media, and I'll be moderating. It's my privilege to moderate this discussion. One request before we start to all the panelists. We want to discuss more points. So I'd request each of you to be very precise and concise so that we can discuss more points. First, we have a question which I'd like to address to all the panelists very broadly. And this is on how each of you are seeing that automation will shape in the near future in India. And where does open systems come into the picture in the overall scheme of automation, open automation things? I'll start with you, Mr. Babu.
Good evening. So, I come from automotive industry and which is having a wide range of fluctuations from legacy periods. And my company is also a 65-year-old company. So therefore, we have in one plant wide range of changes from fully automated line to completely manual line. So I see a coexistence of various levels of automation, and depending on the extent of economic affordability, we can also move towards high-end automation, what just now we discussed. Maybe I'll elaborate a little later. I'll allow others to speak.
Thank you, thank you. So budgetary issue is one challenge that you mentioned. Venkatraghavan, I'll come to you next with the same question. The future of automation as you see it amongst Indian enterprises, and where does open automation, the open systems, feature there?
We have been, I'm from Thirumalai Chemicals, so we run a chemical industry. Our processes are pretty hazardous. So because of the nature of the chemical processes, which are mostly invisible, safety has been a very, very important factor. Running the plants with safe operations, without a disaster, without an accident, has been one of the key challenges the industry is facing. And more recently, as and more awareness, public awareness is very, very high. Public eye on the way we operate, or the license to operate is being given by society rather than the government now. We find this as a very big challenge, and only automation we see will help us get there to improve our safety standards. So this is one aspect I think chemical industry is.
Got it. Thank you. So you have focused on the safety aspect. So, two facets of automation issues we have heard till now, one on the budgetary issue and another on the safety front, how it can help. Satyanarayana, I'll come to you next with the same question. How do you envision the future of automation, and where does open system feature there?
Good evening to all of you. So, like Venkat has
I think
told,
you have to bring the mic closer, it's not audible.
Venkat has just talked about
Is it
certain
audible?
aspects. Is it audible, first of all?
Okay, sure. Please.
Is
go
it audible? Yeah. So, I would like to address, see, I come from Sanmar group. We have businesses on the engineering side, and we have businesses on the chemical manufacturing side. We operate several sites in India and in Egypt. This is what, so I come from on the chemical manufacturing, similar to what Venkat has been talking about. We have a very great challenge on keeping the environment clean. That's one of our most important tasks. Added to that is keeping the people operating the plant under safety conditions. These are the two great challenges we face, and we believe and we always inculcate the idea, or not the idea, it's basically a mandatory in our group that safety and environment comes first and productivity follows. This is because, as Mr. Venkat was telling, the great challenges that have been there to keep up these safety standards, which have been getting tightened day by day. Environmental standards getting tightened day by day. And all these things can be accomplished by appropriate processes to be put in place, which requires digitization, and that is an automation. So this is the place what we find a lot of challenges in an industry where we all, on our group, where we have legacy systems and the latest state-of-art systems which are there across the chemical plants what we are operating. Integrating all of them, bringing in the systems which are required, or bringing in the sensors which are supposed to detect the information about the environment status or the safety status of the operations or the equipment that is being operated, is becoming a great challenge. And that's where we are all working in my industry. We are working to how to integrate the legacy plant machinery and also the current plant machinery. And we are looking at a architecture, or what we call it, a system which will be independent of the vendor specific sensor equipments. That is what we are looking at. And we are also looking at architecture, how the old systems can be integrated into the overall electronic systems or the DCS systems or the other protocols that are being required to make it a success. This is what in our industry.
Thanks. So, if I may reiterate, you agreed on the safety part, which the earlier speaker also mentioned. You mentioned about the sustainability in the previous presentations, we heard on that. So, that's another important aspect. And the last aspect, especially for manufacturing industries, I think which is critical is, while the IT systems are fairly well defined by now, the OT, the operational technology part, is a challenge. And the proper integration between the two, as mostly manufacturing has still in India largely legacy controlled. So as that migration happens, this proper marriage between IT and OT still remains a challenge. And you mentioned about looking at open automation architecture, open architecture for that integration to take place. Great, and I'm sure Arvind later in the session can throw some light on this. Next, I'll come to you, Sunil, with the same question. How do you see the automation, especially as you are leading the digital transformation? How are you seeing automation in Indian enterprises, and where is the need for open systems there?
Yeah. So coming from a company like Ford, which has a legacy of more than 100 years, so we have thousands of systems which are siloed, which doesn't talk to each other. So we have numerous plans, systems in place which doesn't talk to each other. The data are not talking with each other. So this system, where an open system, IoT will be an enabler so that the legacy systems will talk to each other. And we can able to take the data out of the system and be it anywhere in the cloud, or be it a GCP, Azure, wherever it is. From there, we can start our entire digital transformation journey, be it a digital twin, virtual manufacturing, which enables us to launch the product in a very much shorter time, which will be saving millions of dollars. So that open automation will enable us to reduce the quality effects and the time and cost savings of the organization. So that is where I feel it will be helpful. Yeah.
Thank you for your opening remark. Prashanthi, Krishna, I'll come to you next. The same question again, future of automation and the importance of open systems.
Now that others have told about various topics, I wanted to touch upon, as the volumes increases in the industries, there is an acute requirement of accuracy. So automating the inspections, these are very important aspects to improve the sales per employee productivity of the manufacturing. So bringing in automation to enable us to have first time through products is an important aspect, where I see in the future, when the volumes are increasing, would be the key in terms of meeting the matrices.
Okay, thank you. So identifying those matrices to measure automation, if I may say. Muthu, Lingam, next I'll come to again the same question on the future of automation as you perceive it.
So, good evening to everyone. So the one most loud word I catch up from this session was profitability. So when we talk about the profitability, we have seen the industry 1.0, 2.0 revolutions, right? So why we came from 2.0 to 3.0? Because of the profitability, because of we have several advantages, right? So that is the thing I want to pitch in here. So definitely the open automation or whatever it is, the industry 5.0, whether it is going to give us the profitability. That is the main question, and we have to remain profitable, and we have to remain in the market leaders, whatever the segment we have. Since I am coming from the core glass manufacturing process, we want to keep our process parameter within a minimum range. So the open process automation softwares like many systems we have now, right? So this system, with the help of AI and sophisticated things, we are actually able to maintain our process in a more stable way. And one precise thing what I can tell is, now we have reached a way in our traditional way, what we say is like coming from 0 to 90 is very easy, right? So reaching from 90 to 100 is very difficult. I think the open automation is going to play a very big role on this. So we are hoping on that.
Great, thanks. So another aspect has been touched upon on the profitability. Now, Arvind, I'll come to you. You have heard all the enterprise users, may I say, and they have touched upon different aspects where automation, how they are looking at automation and what they want automation to achieve in their factory setup. So, from a Schneider perspective, I'd like to, if you can outline or elaborate what are some of these smart factory measures that Schneider has already implemented and which can help in addressing or mitigating some of the challenges or aspects the different industries are mentioning?
Sure. So let me thank the panel here. We have a very diverse panel, right from discrete to hybrid to process industries, and very relevant points made by all of them. Very important for the future of automation and how open automation can help facilitate some of the problem-solving techniques, that could be implemented for better business outcomes overall. So we've been pioneer in this space. We were the ones who built the first PLC, and then we have also built some AI models inside the control systems more than a decade back. So we have been working at the forefront of some of these technologies. What basically we're talking about is productivity, efficiency, and then how do you reduce the scrap in a manufacturing process? How do you make the systems more efficient? How do you make them more available? How do you make them more reliable, more safe? And there are elements of sustainability, there are elements of compliance, sometimes regulatory as well, that have to be taken care of. And in some industries, what happens is, the end user doesn't have control on what kind of machines land up with automation, and they end up having very different kind of systems. So very important to kind of factor that in while we design the open automation systems, and becomes very imperative, for us. But typically, if I look at, some of the lighthouse factories that we built, in the country, and we have some of them in Chennai, but we have a lighthouse factory in Hyderabad, in India, which is one of the very few here. So we're looking at much more faster time to market there, which means like we're able to produce much more, very quicker. We are able to save scrap, save, things that would possibly not result in rework. We look at making the systems much more efficient, more production, less failures, of course, and delivering quality on time, every time, learning from, what's happening in the process, and the whole generative models, generative AI models help in, rectifying those mistakes and making those systems much more viable, much more productive, going forward.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning, and I'm sure some of these solutions or approaches that Arvind mentioned can help mitigate or I may say address some of the challenges or issues that our different panelists mentioned. Okay, now I'll come to the next round. Again, request to all the panelists, be concise and very precise and short and crisp with the answers, so that, as someone mentioned, if we have some questions from the audience also, we can maybe address that. So I'll start with you again, Mr. Babu. And my question to you is in terms of how open automation can enable agility in production, making production more agile. So my question is, what role do you think this open automation can play in making the production lines more agile and more responsive to the market changes? The market dynamics are also changing, so.
Yeah. I would like to give a specific example in one of our product lines. So in a motor used in air suspension system, we have purchased at different points of time different manufacturing lines. So we have 4 production lines of let's say 0.5 to 1 million capacity, bought at different points of time with different manufacturers, and therefore we are fully aware of how much struggle we have to get all the data together in one style and one controllable manner. We continue to struggle at this point of time, and open system where we could gather all the information through any sensor and any input device would have been excellent. At this point of time, we are still seeing how to integrate. That automatically explains why open system would help a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. That's illustrating with a real life, real time example. Mr. Venkat, I'll come to next. Operational challenge. The question revolves around addressing operational challenge with SDA or software defined automation we heard in the last presentation. So how can this software defined automation model help an organization address operational challenges? And since you are coming from a chemical and in any other manufacturing industry, there are issues like fluctuating demands, energy efficiency is one major issue, emissions control. So how can a software defined automation model help in these aspects?
The biggest challenge has been in collection of data, and since data flows from different hardware, some integrated software that can collect the data, interpret the data, and then provide the analytics is definitely going to help us in assessing what is going to happen in the process over a period of time. So predicting based on data that flows and gets analyzed through a software has been one of the challenges, and I think that function open software will be able to provide a unified platform to collect that data and analyze the data.
Okay, so what you are looking at, see there are heterogeneous sources of data which are coming, and one, you have to somehow homogenize that data on a platform and then apply proper analytics to do better predictive maintenance. Okay, great. Another great point. Next, I'll come to you, Mr. Satyanarayana Rao. We have heard about the OT and most for the smart factories or the manufacturing organization, operational technology with its legacy environment remains a realistic situation even now for Indian enterprises. So what challenges do you encounter when you are integrating IoT and connectivity features into your machines? And how are you looking at collaboration in an industrial ecosystem that can help you overcome such challenges?
See, in our industry, we, as you were talking about legacy, we have legacy control systems and the state-of-art of control system as of today. And we are in the process of converting all of them into the latest automation. That's the fundamental thing we are working on to bring them on par with. But it is a big challenge for us because when we want to bring them on par with the current state of art of automation of the vintage equipments, etc., we had to really modernize certain of the data acquisition as well as data control instrumentation that are required. This is one of the great challenges what we are facing at the moment, and then we are working on that. But then, of course, we are also working on data unification and data compilation. Because as I was talking about, we are now at the moment wherever we are in advanced stage in few of our plants, we are embarking on that AI/ML program where we are introducing for automation and trying to improve upon our productivity on this. These are the areas we are focusing at our industry. The challenges there are the system what we have employed, and then interfacing it is one of the challenges we are facing, and also the appropriate instruments that are required to collect the data is again a challenge. In one unit, we are already working on this process of, I would say, AML process of data acquisition and then monitoring, mainly on the health, control of the health of the machinery. This is very important, which we are now doing offline. Once in 3 months, we collect the data and then we work on them, whether the machine is healthy or not, and then take a corrective actions. While we are now want to have a continuous data and continuous corrective actions.
Can you hold the mic closer? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
audible.
So continuous actions and then gives a predictive model. Based on the predictive model, we will take an appropriate and gives us a time to reduce the downtime. Thereby, we are trying to see how we can improve our productivity. These are the challenges as well as the improvement plans what we have at the moment, and we're working on that. That's the thing I'm looking at in this.
Thank you, sir. Next, I'll come to Sunil. How are you rethinking your automation strategy to move away from the legacy hardware systems that are there now towards more software-defined solutions?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, so right, the legacy systems, interconnection between the legacy systems, that is the one aspect of the business wherein we have a lot of proprietary tools specific to the organization, likewise other organizations have. So the first primary focus should be the connecting all the legacy system into a single data-driven focused, data-focused structured way. So from there, we can able to start our industrialization in industry 4. Be it industry 4.0, 5.0, that digitalization aspect. So we are in the progress. We are yet to reach, but we have a lot of tools in place or approach through digital twins, digital transformation. Let's say we have a lot of virtual manufacturing things. For example, we have every replica of the entire plant structure or the line assembly lines into the virtual world. So wherein we will be doing a real-time simulation. For example, if you want to have a product launched, so everything, the prototype models of the physical worlds has been eliminated. Like it has been converted into digital form. Be it any safety study, CA study, any aspect of the business, we are converting into a digital form. Through that, we can eliminate a lot of quality and cost constraint. So that in that aspect, IoT is being an IoT and the open automations are being a great enablers for us. So these are all the aspects we as an automobile industry we are taking right away. And IoT recently, if you see, IoT is not only for the manufacturing thing. So it is going to be the future, like it is customer centric. So every, let's say any automobile or be it a car or an electrification vehicle. So the data is from the vehicle through an API or something. So we can able to take the data and loop it back into the system. So with that, our every aspect of errors which we can able to eliminate the customer is facing, everything can be looped back and it can be eliminated. So that is where we are focusing into the future. Yeah.
Thank you. Prashanthi, Krishna, my question to you is more on the role of IoT and analytics in improving the operational excellence. So how do you see the shift from more proprietary hardware-tied system to an open software-driven architecture?
Okay, so I will also follow Mr. Babu's style of giving an example from our real life. We at ZF, we have a platform called Scalar, which is an orchestrating platform, which, we almost supply all the parts which is part of the chassis. It may be brake, actuators, everything. So there's a lot of data that is flowing out of all these things. So we at Scalar, apart from, doing the fleet management, we also take all these datas, analyze the data. We also have some models pre-built which gives us, prognostic So even before the brake fails, we are able to find out that there is some leakage. So this helps in getting these vehicle taken for preventive maintenance well before it actually fails. This actually improves the performance of the vehicle and also improves the life cycle of the product. Maybe sometimes the compressor will be it will be continuously on. Okay. So in this case, it will give you an indication well in advance, and this will enable us to avoid failure of these product, and this has actually improved our warranty failures as well.
Okay, so nice illustrative example. Next panelist is Muthu Lingam, and my question to you is, one panelist earlier mentioned about data silos. So that's all industrial customers are faced with this challenge, fragmented data in different silos. So we are talking about open platform here today. So how can this open platform help unlock the full value of this industrial data so that can help in normal asset management to more predictive maintenance, and at the same time, as you mentioned, profitability. So for profitability to happen, scalability and flexibility are two important issues. Those are imperatives. Without that, nothing will be profitable. So how do you sort of manage all these together?
So that's an interesting question. So to match that, I'll take the example of our own company itself. Like Gobain have many different products in terms of glass, gyprock, whatever we see. So when we offer a solution, we used to offer like the silos, what you mentioned. Now we are offering a comprehensive solution in terms of when you go for a building, we'll offer the whole comprehensive solution. So that's how we empower with a full set of product, and we can give better solution to the customer. Like that way, I am able to connect the same thing with the data also. So earlier we used to have the data which is more silos in nature, like we have many PLCs and DCS spread all over the plant. So we used to analyze the data in a fragmented manner, and we used to get the analysis. So suppose for an example, the particular area in charge or the line in charge only may know what is the problem associated with a particular thing. So with the help of open automation softwares, we are able to get the data in a containerized, like in a common environment, and we are actually able to get insights out of it. The beauty is like Gobain is already doing some good works on this open source automation. So we have some sophisticated software. So one of the classical example we have is we are collecting the data from the furnace. Like furnace is having around some thousands raw data which is analog in nature. So we are doing the containerized, the data is getting containerized in the DB. So actually what we are doing is we are able to correlating with the different set of process we have, and we are able to get intelligence out of it. That is the beauty. So by this way, you will not believe, like Gobain used to operate in like many countries. So we have around 30 plus glass factories all over the world. Today, the Indian factories are leading the way with the help of the data and the vision we have. So I have a hope like we will reach much more heights with the help of more data and insights on this.
Great. That's great to know that Gobain India is now leading the way globally for that. Okay, so Arvind, now you have the last word in today's panel discussion. And what I would like to understand is from a Schneider perspective, you have heard about open software defined SDA. We have heard about the leveraging analytics. So how can open software defined enable universal or advanced analytics to provide more scalability and making industry more agile?
So I think a lot has been already covered, but I'll try to cover some things, that have been less spoken about, One of the key advantages, is skills or lack of it, or not having very specific skills applicable for a particular process or an operation. And those kind of things are very complicated. And we also see, while we have a young workforce. We have a lot of people, working in specific domains, etc. But the skill at some point here is not very great, or we have over dependence on people who are much more familiar with traditional software technologies and using those engineering process tools, etc., to build those softwares, for and define the operations in such a way as the end user wants. Now, SDA solves that problem to a very large extent because it doesn't require very great skills, as in traditional automation. It's much more easier to operate. It leverages generative AI, which means like you can make the system smarter, as you go around. There are traditional libraries and blocks that could be used, for making, the software work as far as the process is concerned. Makes it much more agile, and people can actually use the existing tools. So it's also the time of the engineering is reduced to a very large extent. So that really is helpful, from the point of view of making it very, very kind of open and much more efficient. One more point, in terms of reducing the dependency on the OEM hardware or the technologies and making it fully open platform. We have quite a few discrete manufacturers. As an example, if I say, there are almost 30,000 parts that are used to make an automotive vehicle, a car as an example. Now, you can't deliver that with manual processes, and you can imagine how much of parts and processes would be involved, right from vendor side to actually the customer side, and it's not possible to kind of manage that with the single use technology, but leveraging the best of the technologies that are available in the market and connecting them, building, right from the smart machines to a smart process and connecting to a larger enterprise and making the whole operations very efficient. You can connect the line performance, you can connect the plant performance. If the operations are much more diverse, and the multiple plants spread across the country or the globe, you can even compare the performances there and take or leverage the best practices from there. So I think a lot to do, from that point of view, and a lot of benefits coming, from there, and leveraging and integrating everything, putting it like in, as you mentioned earlier, as IT/OT integration, is really helpful and really helps in, putting India back into the manufacturing game, with the aspiration of going from the current mid-teens of the GDP portion of the manufacturing to about 25% or so. A lot of things happening on the digital side, Digital India, Skills India, rollout of the 5G technology. So these are all going to be the enablers for making this a much more reality, rather than just an aspiration.
Great, thank you. So as we close the panel discussion, I hope that we have been able to focus to whatever extent this time permitted on how digitalization, IoT, open automation are enabling the Indian manufacturing industries to break free from earlier legacy limitations and sort of enhance their operational resilience, and also importantly achieve some of the sustainability goals. And also an important aspect that we touched upon was the critical need for collaboration between the industry, the enterprise users, the technology providers, the system integrators, and all the stakeholders in the overall industrial workforce ecosystem across the country. Interactive audience questions, we are running behind schedule, so we would like to take that offline. We have an innovation hub tour also, and also anytime offline we can take up the questions. Before we disperse, I would like to request Mr. Sethuram to come here and hand over a small token of appreciation to all our esteemed panelists here. If you can be here, Mr. Sethura, can we have the tokens? So I'll mention one by one. Mr. Babu. A round of applause.